Hello everybody, sorry for the long hiatus with the Lancia Montecarlo rear crossmember. Well, life just keeps getting in the way. Anyway, back on it today. The plan today is to make one of these infills. So this is an infill and it goes in this area here. So it's a cover basically that goes all around here to here. It's all welded in place ordinarily when it's finished, and it goes all the way to the mount for the rear wishbone. So it's made from pieces of metal like this, which I've had pre-cut by an engineering company, a company called A&N Engineering, which is only about 3 miles from me. They've cut these to shape for me, and I cut them to length. So here's one here. It's 315 millimeters long, 20 millimeters wide, and 2 millimeters thick. So over here, I've made a jig to fold this. It's fairly easy to do. So I'm going to set the camera up in a different position, and we'll go through the process of bending this to shape. Okay, so I've set the camera up in plan view so you can see, and the jig, we're looking down on it here, and there are several parts to it which I'll introduce into the video as we go. So we begin with the piece of metal which I mentioned earlier on, and that first of all gets clamped onto the jig here. So this goes flush there. I'll try to stay out the way of the camera so that you can see the process all the way through. So we just hold that in place with mole grips. Okay. That's the first part. Oh, actually, that's not quite where it needs to be. Maybe about there. About there. So the first task is to make the first bend. Now, on the other ones, I'll show you from the other ones here. I don't know if you can see here, but it's this bend here we're doing first. This bend here. And we just fold it around like that. It's quite a malleable metal, so it's fairly easy to bend. Then we add a bolt and a sleeve. Bolt and sleeve there. Just nip that up. And then we bend the steel around the sleeve. We keep going as far all the way around as we can. To there. But you can see that's bent around to there. Then we add another part. We add this part to it. This will hold it in place so that the next bend can be made. And this slots down here. Like that. One bolt there in the side and one on the top. So I'll do that one up first. That should help the bolt line up a bit better there. You can see the bolt lines up nicely now. And we do that one up as well. He said. That's better. You can see that I'm doing that up. So now that retains that piece of steel in the loop. So it holds that loop here. You can see it holds this loop in place. So it's nicely in place there. And now I'm free to bend the steel back around to this position here. Now once I've done that, that gives me free rein to bring it back to here, because then I want to add this. This is another part of the jig, just a small piece of angle iron. Not a particularly pretty piece of metal, but it does the job. And again, we put that in place with 2 bolts, M8 bolts. Again, this helps me into a position where I can now clamp and make the straight part. I'll show you what that is in a second. So now I want to make this straight part here. If that makes any sense, I can't see it on the camera. There, this straight part here. This straight part here. So now we need to clamp that into place. Again, another set of mole grips. It's quite new metal, so it's nice and soft. Sometimes we may have to dress this a little bit afterwards. I'll try and clamp that there to get that a bit more. There you go. I was just squashing the metal into place a little bit more there. And then I'll clamp it in place here. So now we've got that flat piece, as I mentioned earlier, this flat piece here. And then we want to make this second loop here. So to do that, we bend the steel around to there, and then we add another bolt here. Oh, I've got the wrong bolt on. Sorry. I need to change the bolts over. I've got the wrong bolt on there. Okay, so second bolt in, and this is the final operation where we bend it right around all the way. There's a scored line there. I don't know whether you can see it. There's a scored line there, and I want to get just past that. We just push that into there, just past it, and then bring it back. Try again. Push that past there, bring it back, and there you have it. So that's it complete. So now we just break it down, remove the mole grips from there, remove the mole grips from there, undo that bolt there, take the bolts off there, and it should just lift out, and there you have it. This one here, I'll make them slightly longer so that I can but I just need to cut that piece off there, with the shears, and there you have it. The last piece, or not the last piece, I've got loads more pieces to do, but that's the piece for covering the end of the bolts, and I need to make at least 2, well, I need to make 2 of those per cross member. Nice and easy jig to use. Yeah, so here's the jig taken off the vise. Comes as just a thick piece of 8mm angle iron with some parts welded on it, and some of these parts have been individually bespoke made. Just thought I'd give you a quick short video showing you that. It's fairly simple. I think it was just a piece of angle iron I'd lying around. Yeah, and it was quickly made to do that job, and that's all it does really. Just a quick view of that so you can see what it is. There you go.